Good morning, guys. What's going on? So here's a little bit. Anyway, y'all didn't tell me in the video where I'm talking about the store being up, I had this huge crumb on my chin. I'm thinking about taking it down. Maybe I'm a little vain. I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my god, there's this crumb, and I'm just talking. I had no idea it was on my chin. Anyway, so this big old truck. Anyway, so the New York people are suing in New York because of the mandatory vaccination laws that they passed, and that's good. And it's so funny. I was talking with April, the co-founder, about this the other day, and we were talking on the phone, and we were just like, yeah, man, there has to be lawsuits. Now, you can't sue the pharmaceutical industry, but they can sue the state for forcing them, or the city for forcing them to get vaccines, right? So I'm thinking some people are kind of freaking out. I have people like writing me and emailing me and saying that they're freaked out about the vaccine, mandates. And I understand, I am too, but I also am very hopeful that this whole ordeal is going to backfire, because there are left people now that are awake that are going to fight back, whether they know their rights now and they're going to sue. And this is going to be great, because it's going to, if you're one of these parents that know, how bad vaccines are, just, take the fine and take them to court, I think that it's because it's not worth your health and the health of your child, to get shot at with poison. I don't think that they're going to win, because once you bring out the evidence, once the evidence is allowed to be presented, there's no way that they can see that these things aren't safe and that they're, effective, because they're not. And so I think this is actually good in New York, and I think the same thing's going to happen in California. With SB 276, they're trying to get rid of the medical exemption there too. And just like SB 277, those crooked motherfuckers, those politicians are super bought. California is really corrupt. So they passed it with even mass amounts of people saying that they didn't approve of the philosophical exemption being taken away. They passed it anyway. Like I've said before, there were 50 people that showed up to the hearing in support of the bill, and there were 700 people that showed up in opposition to the bill. They passed it anyway. And Senator Pan, the author of the bill, was seen during the hearing. Somebody asked him a question, and he turned around and he consulted with these two people, and they work for the pharmaceutical industry. So I'm like, how is that even allowed to happen, right? Ugh, it's ridiculous. So, he didn't care. He doesn't care about these parents. He had hundreds and hundreds of parents coming to him, telling him about their vaccine-injured children, whether they were, autistic, or whether they were paralyzed, or whether they died of SIDS. He did not give a fuck. So fuck him. And I hope he gets hanged one day. I mean, he's somebody I have no sympathy for. I think he actually knows, and he's probably compromised, because it seems like he can't look people in the eye. He has a conscience. He runs away when people ask him certain questions, like literally runs away. The Vax team said that they were coming to his office, and he bolted out the back door, and they're just like, hey, Pan, we just want to ask you some questions. And he's like booking it, okay? Like Paul Offit, on the other hand, I think that guy's just a straight up psychopath. He does not care. And he knows. I don't think he's compromised. I mean, he might be compromised, but he doesn't care. He's making money. He has patents on vaccines, okay? He was mentored by the head vaccine psychopath himself, Stanley Plotkin. And if you ever get a chance to see the 9-hour Plotkin deposition, even if you saw pieces of it, you'll see how evil these motherfuckers are. They're beyond evil, okay? I know I'm cursing. I can't talk about this shit without cursing, because they're so fucking evil. So anyway, so I think this is actually good, even though it's scary. They're like, oh, a judge overturned the, saying that the Jews, the Hasidic Jews that got the measles couldn't go out in public. There was a judge that was just like, this is ridiculous. It's not a lot of people. Like, he sees through the bullshit. And the mayor overturned it. So I think that's good, because now they can sue the mayor, they can sue the state, okay? I mean, are they going to start going door to door? I know that's what they want to do. There was a lady, we interviewed her she wasn't even woke. She wasn't even anti-vaccine, and they weren't forcing people to take vaccines, but they were going like door to door and, you know, asking people if they wanted to get caught up on their shots. And she even thought that was weird. She's like, what the hell is this? So it was kind of funny that during that time, April tipped InfoWars off. I don't know if they took her tip or they already knew about it, but she tipped InfoWars off, and they actually did a story on it. And she didn't even know about Alex Jones anyway. So April gets back to the lady, and she's like, "Look, AJ did a story on you." And then she's like, "Who is this guy? I need to talk to him. Oh my God, I had no idea." You know. It was kind of funny, and now I think she's woke. She's woke just because, you know, and she was pro-vaccine, you know, pro enough where she thought they were necessary, but she didn't feel like they needed to go door to door and offer courtesy vaccinations. And you know, there was a case in Arizona where they social CPS called social services on this family that didn't vaccinate, and they vaccinated them. They went to their house and forced vaccinated them. So that's some bullshit. They're gonna get sued too. So I actually think, again, I think this is good because this is going on. Merck, who's the only pharmaceutical industry or company that has the MMR patent. Now, I want to say that like places I know for sure in Japan, they don't do the MMR, and they cite side effects. Same reason they banned the Gardasil vaccine due to side effects, due to people getting, I don't know, killed. And they give, what Japan does, they give individual measles vaccinations. The MMR is measles, mumps, and rubella. So they give individual vaccinations for measles, and it's recommended. It's not even like required, and they don't have any horrific outbreaks and stuff there. And Zhejiang province in China has a 99.9% measles compliance rate, and this is between 2009 and 2015 alone. I don't know after that, but they've had at least 700 measles outbreaks. So what does that tell you, right? Also, what they're not talking about is the mumps component. There's actually another lawsuit going on with Merck and two of the virologists who actually were involved in making the vaccine, where they were testing the mumps component of the vaccine, and it wasn't, according to the way that they test stuff, which is bullshit, but according to their own theories, people weren't testing positive for antibodies from the mumps vaccine, showing that they were quote unquote immune to mumps after the vaccine. So they kept doing tests. It came out wrong, and you know what they told them? The head people at Merck, they told them to just replace the tests with rabbit antibodies to make it appear that people are testing positive for immunity to the mumps vaccine. Isn't that some bullshit? Thank God that they have integrity, and now they're suing Merck. So this has been going on for 5 years, and from what I've heard, it's now going to go to jury, and now the case is going to be heard. Okay, so these own virologists that make the vaccines are suing Merck because they were told to lie. Then you have these cases of mumps where, you know, full people that are going to college that have to get mumps and MMR to get into college, like full colleges are coming down with the mumps, even though they are, you know, the vaccines are supposed to make you immune, but how are all these, like, you know, outbreaks in vaccinated people that have gotten in fully vaccinated populations, okay? And then you have that whole, like, thing that happened on the Navy ship a few weeks ago where they're talking about mumps and, you know, calling it a mumps-like disease, where it's fucking mumps, okay? We even had somebody show us that somebody was a family member on the ship, and they're saying it's mumps, and they're really pissed at the media for trying to, you know, twist things and say that it's not mumps. And all these people are vaccinated because they're in the military. You have to have all your vaccines to be in the military. So how did a whole ship come down with mumps? Even if it was like one person that had the mumps, if they were vaccinated, then they should be fine, right? How come the whole ship got it? It's ridiculous, okay? So this is great. Also, what's happening is, I talked about before how you can't sue the pharmaceutical industry if you get injured. You have to get money through the vaccine court, which is very, 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 very hard to do. And a lot of people don't even make that connection. If they have an injury, it's from the vaccine, and by the time they do, a lot of people do, it's too late, and a lot of people don't even report. Doctors aren't trained to recognize vaccine injury. It's a whole mess, okay? It's a fiasco. So that's going on. Now, there's also another lawsuit with the shingles vaccine, because the shingles vaccine is actually giving people the shingles. Why? You know, so like the varicella vaccine, which is the chickenpox vaccines, gives people the shingles, and then they're like, oh, well, you can get the shingles from, you know, the chickenpox vaccine. It's like the same virus, but it shows up differently. It's like the varicella virus, and then the you know, the geniuses that these people are, they're like, oh, well, why don't we create a vaccine to stop the shingles? But the vaccine is what caused the shingles in the first place. But you're going to create a vaccine to stop the shingles? Okay, wow, you're really smart. So that's happening. So now the shingles vaccine is actually giving people the flipping shingles, and they found some kind of loophole, maybe because it's not mandated, or it's not. I don't really know what the exact loophole is, but it's a class action lawsuit. So I don't think you can sue the pharmaceutical industry individually. But however these lawyers figured it out, there's a class action lawsuit going for the shingles vaccine that's giving people the shingles, okay? And now Merck is on trial. So this is the same company that you know, they've committed fraud. There's the same company that did Vioxx, okay, where Vioxx was giving people heart attacks, and they pulled it. And then they found emails, internal emails talking about doctors that were speaking out against it, telling higher ups to go after their career, and if that didn't work, take them out, like kill them. Okay, so I don't know, man. Merck's they're probably shitting bricks right now, because they're about to get exposed. And you know, Merck is just, you know, Paul Offit, you know, he has his, I think he works with Merck. His rotavirus vaccine patent is through them. So, you know, it's Merck has committed fraud, and once these cases start getting heard, like, a lot of their shit's gonna be exposed, like, for real, okay? So, and then they can lose their license. Yay. And then, also, they're gonna lose people's trust. And then, people are gonna start questioning other pharmaceutical industries, because they're not, like, all of them are bad. It's like Merck is just, like, you know, kind of out there more so, I think, because there's always been scandal around, like, the MMR and Gardasil, because those they have the patents for those. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I really think that this is gonna backfire. The only people I really feel bad for is the people that have a serious appeal to authority complex, and you know, they're just gonna line up. They're just gonna line up and get their vaccines, like good little people, which is not you know, and it's not good. You know, if you ever, guys should look up this doctor who was murdered. His name is Andrew Moulton, and his theory was every vaccine causes harm, and he had really good evidence to support that. Now, whether it's severe brain damage or autoimmune disease or whatever, or if it's over a longer period of time, but you know, they're not necessary, and over a long period of time. Seizures, you know, I just got reconnected with an old friend, which, oh my god, this is like the best. It's the best it's ever. It was amazing. A friend that I've known since we were babies, okay? And he has kids now, and he was telling me that 2 of his kids are epileptic. I'm sure it's the fucking vaccines. I haven't told him yet. I don't know what he thinks about it. And I don't know when I meet, I mean, I'm going to have to at least give him, you know, like tell him. I don't know how he's going to take it. I don't know what he's going to think. But the thing about that is, if your child is epileptic due to vaccines, well, even if it's not due to vaccines, you're still creating inflammation in the body and the brain by still continuing the vaccine schedule. So you're compounding the problem. You're going to make things worse by doing that. So I think, you know, he needs to know this. Wish me luck, guys. Hope it goes well. Anyway, yeah, I think that it's a good thing, and I'm not being a cockeyed optimist. I really see logic in it. The only people that I feel bad for, like I said, are the people that really don't know, or that are really bullied into it, that are super ignorant on the subject, and they're just going to line up and get injected with poison, you know? And then, you know, some of those people are hard-headed. They'll have to learn that way, and I don't want that to happen. That's why I do what I do, because I wouldn't wish vaccine injury on my worst enemy. I probably wish it on Paul Offit though, because he's a covert murderer. There are thousands of children dead because of him. So I mean, if I wouldn't wish it on his children though, because they're different people. But if he got vaccine injured, I wouldn't shed a tear. But anyway, all right, guys, that's it, and I will talk to you later. Peace, love, bye bye.